the Inland Waterways Association of Ireland. Peter, how are you?
I'm grand, Rowan. What about yourself?
I'm A1 and surviving the cold and the blow and all the rest of it.
Your chin, like mine, wouldn't be cold. In
No,
fact,
we're covered.
Yours would be warmer than mine.
We're covered, indeed, indeed, indeed. I saw the awfulness of the picture this week of part of the canal bank down on the ship canal, the middle bank collapsing.
Yes,
what was that about?
Well, we don't know what it was about. It could be just old age, I think, really, is the problem with it. Now, they did remove a lot of vegetation from the top of it over the last year. Maybe that didn't help matters, but personally, I don't think that would have caused that sort of collapse.
No. How serious a collapse was it?
Well, there's about 50 metres of it, lengthwise, and it was a concrete facing wall which was sagging. I mean, it was starting to hang down, and it slipped into the water. As far as I know, basically in one piece. You can see the bits lying there, evidently, if you go down. But also the bank behind then has gone down.
Out, It's probably not a bad thing that it happened, because it was there. It was waiting to happen.
Well, I mean, we've suspected the whole of that wall along the whole length of the middle of between the canal and the river of not being in great condition. And I know the council are aware it's not in great condition. This is one of the reasons that 3 years ago, the Inland Waterways Association, our branch, made a presentation to the committee of the Department of Culture, Arts and Leisure up in Stormont to have the canal adopted, taken over by Waterways Ireland, the cross-border body, who looks after all the other navigable canals.
Absolutely.
But not that one.
Yeah.
And
so what did the committee say?
Well, the committee recommended it. They said it would be a very good idea, but the minister, of course, Karen Cullen, said no because of finance, of course. You see, they're taking on a considerable liability. Yeah. Because everybody knows it's going to need money spent on it, a lot of money spent on it sometime in the future.
Yeah. But if surely that money would be spent by Waterways Ireland, not by the councils.
Well, not at the present, it wouldn't be. It's the councils.
But if Waterways Ireland took it over.
Yes, so that's why the minister didn't want it, because they would have to spend the money. You see, if anything happened. I think they must have had a suspicion about its condition.
Yeah.
We know there's other reports go on, as well as the report we would make or the presentation we would
It's all short-sighted, isn't it?
It is if you want a canal.
Yeah.
If you want hospitals, roads, and that sort of thing, it's not. I mean, you only a certain pot of money, and it has to be spent somewhere. Personally, I would love to see it spent on the canals. Yeah. But other people want it spent somewhere else. Maybe they can put forward a better argument than we can. Yeah.
But I mean, out of the pot, it's the wise use of the money in the pot, and.
Well, it's making sure that money ends up where it's targeted for, that it doesn't get lost en route with consultation processes, not consultation, but consultants.
Oh, consultants.
And people like that who just get paid a lot of money for writing reports, but not actually doing anything, not getting any construction done.
Got to ask you, who's going to mend the canal that's broken?
The council have to repair it.
They will do it. Because they own it.
Yes, and they have a responsibility to maintain it. It is an ancient monument. It's scheduled ancient monument. The whole of that middle bank is scheduled.
Yeah.
But there's such no duty of care to maintain it. It's only the ratepayers keeping the pressure on them will make them repair it. Yeah. Because I mean, really, if the whole canal collapsed tomorrow, say a quarter mile of wall collapsed, I mean, nobody would have the funds for repairing that now. It would have to be some sort of special funding. Organised, and there'd be no canal then. Well, there would be an empty ditch at low tide.
Yeah, and who can say it's a nightmare really, and it goes on. Yeah. But that's the area we're talking about, the Greenway as well, isn't it?
Yes. I think that was part of the problem, is that when they costed for the Greenway and went for the funding, they hadn't realised, the people doing the application for the grant and funding hadn't realised the amount of work that would need to be done along that section. I don't really understand why they didn't realise, because it's been well known.
You can see it. Yeah. Now you were recently doing the survey of the canal, the depths the whole way up. Yes. Now that gives you a close encounter with the middle bank of the canal. Yes. Are there other sort of situations of threat there on the way down?
Well, there are some areas have sagged and slipped into the canal in the past. But once you get down past you notice there's a weir just nearly opposite where Dan O'Hare
yes,
and the turning basin there.
Yes.
But if you go on down, that becomes very narrow. It's only maybe less than a metre wide on the top. And so that would need some sort of widening for a greenway or cycle track or whatever. And it's how you're going to hold that up. I mean, I don't think you could just rely on hanging it out from the side of the wall.
No, no, no.
But on one side you've got a scheduled ancient monument, on the other side you've got mud.
Yes.
So I don't really know what the solution is. But the bank itself, the stonework itself, is in fair enough condition. But there are bits. I would say that if you went down there with a level like these engineers have, you'd see that there's bits of it have gone down and sunk over the years and are showing signs. But that's not a sudden slippage job.
No. Is it something that's occurring year on year as a consequence of the winter weather?
I think it's just it probably comes from the fact that it possibly didn't have what you call good foundations by today's standards.
Yes.
And I mean, and it's been there a long time. Oh yes, I mean,
1742.
The ship canal bit of it, yeah. I mean, it's 1850s and 60s, you know. So I mean, it's 150 years, and it's actually done quite well. But what we did notice when we were doing the survey, say you start off at the road, all right, and you come down the bank, and it goes down gradually to the bottom of the canal, and the canal's fairly flat. But it goes straight up that wall.
Straight up the wall.
Basically, yes. There's a slight curve at the bottom. So some parts of that wall would be 12 feet. Just straight down.
Straight down.
Yeah, and other places it would normally be around about 8 feet.
Yeah.
So if you want to do work on that wall, you're going to have to drop the ship canal at least 8 feet.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a problem about the consequences of that, because you still have the river at high tide
Pushing in.
Yeah, and you've got this difference. It wasn't built as a dam, you see.
Yes.
Not as such. There's only a metre of difference.
Yes.
Going that way normally, you know. And,
it all seems very complex.
It is very complex, and at the moment the ship canal, the level was lowered for them to do survey work on it, and then the bank collapsed. I don't think the two were related.
No.
There might have been. There might have been
it
might have exacerbated or accelerated. But now the problem is what do you do with it? Because as soon as you start messing about with those levels again, there is a risk, because the bank has collapsed, there is a risk of further movement. So personally, if it was my call, I'd be very, very careful about whether I raised it, lowered it, or did anything sudden to it at all.
Will your branch be writing to council and offering them some kind of observations?
I think the council have it well and truly under control on that bit. Yes, we had wanted it lowered a lot further to get working further up the canal at lock number 2 at Riley's, but they've come back and said they don't really want to adjust the levels at the moment, and so I would agree with them. I certainly wouldn't be pressurising them into doing something that might cause future horrendous damage.
Talking about the inland navigation, that's the 1742 first Summit Canal in the United Kingdom, predating the Manchester.
Yes,
all of that. It's a jewel. It's a wonderment, and it's a great piece of industrial archaeology, so to speak. But you've managed to get to source the wood for the lock gates.
Yes, indeed. Well, for the main posts, what they call the heel posts, the hinges on the gates, they have to be of oak. Yeah. Now the rest of the gate's going to be in steel. Yes. Now this is for the top section, way up the canal at Points Pass and Scarva. Yes, but the timber is now being cut to size for us, and we have to go and collect it.
Where did you get it? Did you go across the water for it?
Well, the only source we could find at a reasonable price was across the water, but carriage was a problem. And also, you don't get seeing the timber before you hand over the money.
That's right.
So really, when it arrives here, what do you do with it? It costs you as much to send it back as it did to get it here. So having checked around, there's a company called Ballytrim Sawmills, Clark Cunningham. He's a landscape gardener, tree surgeon, and all that sort of stuff, over near Killilay in County Down. And he has it. He had oak there, and he was happened to be working on it last week. And funny enough, the day I phoned him, he said, "I'm cutting oak tomorrow."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he said, I'm starting to slice up a big tree. Do you want some of it? Yeah. And so that was it, you know.
And it was the right, because presumably the sap was still in it.
Yes.
It wasn't dried out.
Yeah, it's green oak. That's the
green
important
oak.
Is the important it must have the sap in it.
Yes. How much do you need of it?
We need 4 posts.
Dimension of the post?
10 inches by 8 inches by 9 feet long. Now, it's not very much.
No.
But that weighs about 3/4 of a ton.
Wow.
Because it's heavy old stuff, the oak. Really is, and it's also very expensive.
Oh,
yes. It's more expensive than steel.
My goodness,
Well, you're up to the prices of stainless steel nearly.
You're doing it right. That's the main thing.
Well, there's no point in the heel posts are the most important bit. That's carrying the load, the weight of the whole gate on it, and so it has to be properly done and properly machined and out of the proper material.
What's happening in the wildlife in the canal at the moment?
Oh, now then. We were discussing last week about the egrets. Little egret is what it is. Now, we did a bit of homework on them. And there used to be thousands of them in Ireland and Britain.
My goodness.
And I can't remember now, maybe it was 150 years ago, their little white feathers became very popular for ladies' hats. And they were wiped out. Totally wiped out
for ladies'
So
hats.
to say that modern man, as of this day and age, is wiping out species, it can go back a long time.
Yeah, we're past masters of it.
But anyway, so we don't no longer use them in hats. Well, at
Yes.
least not that I know of. And so they're starting to creep back in.
Yeah.
Now, you would find them quite often around the shores in England and Ireland. Not on the inland waterways as much, but they are coming in.
Yeah. The RSPB had a bird count recently. They did, it was a weekend job. They were
Yes,
counting species. Now, if in your mind's eye you've been on the canal, what species of bird would come to mind immediately that are there fluttering around the canal?
Oh, no, I'm not the man for that.
Ah.
When it comes to ornithology, I'm not the man. Tom Johnson,
Tom
our
would know
secretary,
that.
he has a whole load of data that he actually had ready for the last time he was on the programme, and he never got round to talking
Oh
about
my God,
wildlife.
whatever we talk about.
Because
Oh,
there'd
yeah.
been someone had done a survey along a section
Yeah.
of the canal, and he
Yeah.
has a whole list of birds, and really there were fieldfare.
Fieldfare, yeah.
And no. Next time he's on with you,
We'll
you can ask
talk
him
about that.
But I
We'll
tell you,
talk about
we
that.
were talking before about cormorants.
Yes.
They stand with their little wings like this.
Absolutely.
Well, now, there are certainly some on the ship canal down between here and Victoria Loch.
Yeah.
But 2 days ago, I was coming past Loch Bricklin,
Uh-huh.
coming from Rough Island
You're
direction.
joking me.
And there's a tree there on the Crannoe. And there must have been 24 of them,
Cormorants.
all standing there like this.
Yeah.
Now, that's a fishing lake.
Ah, yes.
The man stocks it.
Yeah.
I would think the cormorants aren't very popular with him.
Well, I
somehow.
think the cormorant's days could be numbered.
Oh no, they're protected.
I know. But
Yes, but I know it must be very tempting when you see them all standing in a tree, and it was just the branches were covered in them.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
That's because there's such good feeding.
Yes.
But anyway, then you don't see them in the canal. I think there's not enough water in the canal for them to
No.
be diving.
No, they
further
can't,
up,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, they could dive in the ship canal, sure.
Oh yes, on the ship canal.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I mean on
yeah.
the inland
Ah,
canal.
no,
yeah.
no,
I've
no.
seen them. I've seen them on the some of the canals in England.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A wonderful
fish.
bird you would have known and seen often on your voyaging around the world. You would have seen the gannet.
Oh yes.
What a stately and wonderful bird it is. Just
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Black wingtips.
Yes, I find
The
the
yellow
gold, the gold,
head.
yeah, the gold round the head.
And it always reminded me, and maybe this is where they got the design for Concorde, with the dropped.
Oh yes,
It was like
That's
Concorde.
very much so.
Very
yes.
much, yeah,
Yes.
very much so. And it was always lovely to see them come from very high and come ready for the dive, and at the last moment, the wings
That's right. Just
dive straight
yeah,
in.
Straight in.
Wow.
It's lovely if the water's clear. You can actually see them
See
under the
them
water.
going down.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a beautiful bird.
A beautiful bird is the cormorant. I don't know what would the limerick be. We'll not
I
even
have
try.
no idea at all. So I think they look a bit tatty, looking like scarecrowish, but some people find them very, very pretty.
Oh, the cormorant, yeah.
The cormorant,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Oh no,
no,
the other
yeah.
ones are fantastic.
Most on your travels around the world, did you see an albatross?
Oh yes.
Ah.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
10 feet wingspan?
Oh, at least.
My goodness.
Yes, they're big monsters. The first time we saw the giant albatross on nesting was in New Zealand,
Yeah.
and we came in and we thought it was sheep in the field.
My goodness. And
They were albatross, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And they weren't sheep a long way away.
They were, yeah.
No.
Yeah. I
Oh,
know
we
what you
used to catch them. We'd trail a line for fishing,
Yeah.
and the albatross would come down after the lure. Now, they could never catch them,
Yeah.
but they would run along the surface of the water trying to peck.
Oh, yeah.
And then
yeah.
invariably they get the thing caught round its ankle or
Yeah,
round
yeah.
its wing. So
Then
you
you'll
pull them
be-
in, lift them up, pair of rubber gloves on, big heavy gloves, and the only way to do this, you grab them by the beak
Yes.
like this.
Yeah.
Now, the albatross doesn't appreciate this. He
No,
doesn't think you're
he
going to
doesn't
help.
like it, yeah.
And so he's going like this here,
Here.
and then you unhook him, and of course they can't take off on the boat.
Yes. they
Because
can't,
the
of course.
handrails, you see,
Yeah,
they
of
can't get the
course.
little wings
Yeah.
out, well, big wings out.
Yeah.
So all you can do is you open a bit of the handrail where you've pulled them in.
And you let 'em
And you
run.
just shove, no, you just shove them.
Shove them.
Yeah, they go in head first, and yeah, I mean, they don't, or upside down, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
How do they get themselves airborne again on the water? They sort of go and then maybe they're pushing.
If there's no wind, they can't fly.
Yeah.
If it's a flat calm, they cannot get off the water.
That's what I would
They
thought.
have to have a wave and a bit of wind, and they
Yeah.
run along, flapping their wings and
My
running,
goodness.
and they get to the top of the wave and give themselves a bit of an extra shove, And
they're
into the
away.
wind, of course, like an
Aye,
aeroplane.
like an
model.
aeroplane.
Yeah, yeah.
It's an amazing bit of
But
camera.
they're fantastic. But we did get one that it damaged one of its wings on the hook.
Yeah.
With just a feather on the wing.
Yes.
But it stayed with us for 6 days after that.
My
It'd come
goodness.
every night at dusk.
Yeah.
You'd see it coming, and you'd see the damaged feather on it. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
And it would come up behind the boat. But anyway, that's not the canal. Rob.
No, it's not. But we've done our business.
That was happy memories.
Happy memories and go all the world of nature, the wonderful world of nature.
Yeah.
Peter, thank you very much indeed for coming in today.
Yes.
We'll see you next week.
Oh yes, Rowan. One of us will be in.
All the best.
Righto.
And
Great
good
to
luck
see
in
you.
all your efforts on the canal.
Thanks,
We're
Rowan.
blessed to have you there.
Oh, I don't know about me, but blessed to have the association.
Ah,
there.
yes, undoubtedly so.